Let's talk about a word that is absolutely everywhere these days, but is also, well, it's deeply misunderstood. That word is manifestation. Today, we're going to cut right through all the magical thinking and build a real, practical blueprint for creating the life you want. And we're basing it all on the incredible work of Jay Shetty.
So be honest. Have you ever spent hours cutting out pictures, meticulously crafting the perfect vision board? Or maybe you've repeated affirmations in the mirror or filled journals with your biggest dreams, only to feel like in the end you were just kind of waiting. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. It is a super common frustration, and there's a really clear reason why it keeps happening.
The biggest issue, the real problem, is a huge misunderstanding of what this is all about. You see, we've been sold this idea that manifestation is passive. It's like this magical way of thinking where we just wish for things and then we wait. But the truth? It's an active process. It is a method. It's not about waiting for the universe to drop something in your lap. It's about giving the universe clear instructions through your own clarity and your own action. So here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to clearly define the method behind manifestation and pull it out of the world of magic and into practical strategy. Then, we're going to bust 3 huge myths that trip people up all the time. The idea that mindset is everything, that just having good intentions is enough, and that the right path is supposed to be perfect. And finally, we'll pull it all together into your personal blueprint for making things happen. Okay, let's dive right in with the foundation. Because to move past all the myths, we've got to start with a clear, no-nonsense definition of what manifestation actually is. Here it is. This is the whole idea in a nutshell. Real manifestation isn't some kind of magic spell. It's alignment. It's that powerful moment when what you think, what you say, and what you actually do all lock into place. They're all pointing in the exact same direction. The second any one of those is out of sync, your progress just grinds to a halt. Now that we have our definition locked in, let's start tearing down some of these myths. And we're going to start with the biggest one, the one that causes the most frustration by far. This idea that your mindset, all by itself, is enough to create your reality. Come on, we've all heard this one, right? The idea that if you can just visualize your goal with enough passion, with enough intensity, it's just gonna, poof, materialize out of thin air. Well, as it turns out, our brains just don't really work that way. I love this analogy. Think of your brain less like a magic genie in a bottle and more like a GPS in your car. A GPS is an incredibly powerful tool, right? But it needs one thing from you before it can do anything, a specific destination. If you just get in and say, take me somewhere nice, it's useless. It's the same with your brain. Vague wishes leave it idling in the driveway. A clear goal gives it a target to navigate toward. And this right here perfectly shows the difference. I want to be successful. What does that even mean? It's like telling your GPS you want to go somewhere fun. It's a nice wish, but it's not a destination. But saying, I will grow my business revenue by 20% this year, now that is an address. That's a destination. Your brain can immediately start calculating the route, identifying the steps, the people, the resources you need to get there. One leads to drifting, the other leads to real direction. And there's actually some cool science behind why this works. Your brain has this built-in filter. It's called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short. When you set a really clear goal, you're basically programming that filter. And all of a sudden, your brain starts to notice things, conversations, articles, opportunities that were always there, but you just tuned them out before. It's exactly like when you decide you want to buy a red car, and suddenly you see red cars everywhere. The cars were always there. You just finally told your brain to start looking for them. Okay, so getting crystal clear on your destination is step 1. Huge. But what about the journey itself? Well, this brings us to our second big myth, the belief that just having positive intentions is enough to get you where you want to go. This is the idea that just having a positive mindset is like this magnetic force that automatically pulls success to you, and that the action part is, secondary. But positivity without action? It's like having a car with a full tank of premium gas and no one in the driver's seat. It's not going anywhere. Now, don't get me wrong, positivity is absolutely essential. It's the fuel, it gets you motivated, it gets you creative, it gets you to the starting line. But it is not the vehicle. It cannot drive you to your destination. Only deliberate, consistent action can actually do that. So here's how we make our intentions active. It's an unbeatable formula. From now on, you pair every single affirmation with one specific action.
The moment you say, I'm building wealth, you immediately follow it up by setting up that automatic transfer to your savings account. And after you journal about a huge goal, don't just close the notebook and feel good. Before you do anything else, ask yourself, what is the very next smallest possible step I can take today to move this forward? That's how you build real momentum.
All right, let's tackle the final myth, and honestly, this one is a really big one. It's all about what happens when things get hard.
Oh man, this is a trap that so many of us fall into. We have this romantic idea that if something is truly meant to be, the path will just open up for us, right? It'll be smooth and easy. So when we hit an obstacle, when we face resistance, we take it as a sign from the universe that we're on the wrong track. And then we give up. But the reality could not be more different. Struggle doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're building strength. Talk to any successful entrepreneur, any artist, any athlete. They'll all tell you that resistance is a critical part of the process. It's the workout, not a wall you're supposed to stop at. That feeling of strain, of pain, that's proof that you're stretching beyond your comfort zone. And that is the only place where real growth ever happens. And this brings us to a super important distinction about this idea of surrender. So often we get it wrong. False surrender is just quitting when things get tough, giving 50% effort and then saying, well, it wasn't meant to be. True surrender, that's what you do after you have given 100%, after you've left no stone unturned, used all your creativity, all your energy. At that point, and only at that point, you detach from the specific outcome, trusting that you have done everything in your power. Okay, we have busted the myths, we've cleared the fog. Now let's put all of these pieces together into a final, powerful blueprint that shifts you from just wishing for things to actually building them. This blueprint, right here, is all about a fundamental shift in your focus. It's about moving from an obsession with the final outcome to a deep commitment to the process. It's realizing that real progress isn't about speed. It's about making sure you're heading in the right direction. It's about trading that constant need for other people's approval for the quiet power of your own authenticity. And ultimately, it's about understanding that real momentum isn't built on a few big moments of recognition, but on the quiet, unstoppable power of daily consistency. This is the engine of real, lasting change. So let's end with this one simple question. Manifestation isn't a passive wish you make to the universe. It's a world you build, one clear, intentional, and consistent action at a time. The real question isn't what you want to have. It's who are you willing to become to create it. So what's that one small step you're going to take today?